Welcome to the Profitable Cleaner podcast. Join your hosts, James Harper and Angel Sandoval, bringing you the experts, discussions, and knowledge you want. We talk about sales, technology, marketing, operations, strategy, leadership, mindset, health, God, and so much more. Now, are you ready to profit?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Profitable Cleaner. I always say that every time and I don't get bored of it, but today we got some cool people in the podcast today. One, welcome co-host Mr. James Harper. How are you, sir?
Doing good, man. Excited to be back.
Excited to be back. He did the salute and everything, and obviously the king of skyrocketing, apparently, the guy that just scales companies, huh? Mr. Ramshaw. Charlie Ramshaw, how are you, brother?
Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Excited to be back. Excited to be
Absolutely.
back.
Last time
How
I
was?
did this, I was in my basement, so glad to
That
finally
is true.
get my office.
We should put like a side by side or something so that you can see. So you basically upgraded since last podcast. We should look back at when that was skyrocketed. For those that don't know, this podcast is a little bit differently because we didn't just go out and pick a theme out of nowhere. Basically, we just had our cleaning profits event, right? The statement, and Ram Clean decided to make a statement. We actually decided to give awards in this event, and their numbers are amazing. The way they've grown is amazing, and we actually gave an award called the Skyrocket Award, which basically rewards the companies just like a rocket, a skyrocket. So we just wanted to make sure we came in here, recognized you, brother, and talk a little bit about that specific topic, which is, I guess we can call it skyrocketing or scaling,
Sure.
right? And I know you guys are opening up in different areas than just Ohio, right?
Ohio, and then November 6th we'll start in Tampa, Florida. So with where we've been down there selling, but we're actually got a contract with a customer here. We're actually doing a big story with actually Connor's group, Proven Content, about that whole cycle of how that went about, and then actually just had a lead in Columbus Day of a facility we cleaned in Cincinnati, and they were like, "Well, hey, will you go out to LA? That facility is going to be open in a year, and it's the biggest one in the world, or something like that." So, as I'm finding out in this business, right, it's really getting these partnerships that have multiple locations is really, I think, the avenue for tremendous scale. So, as I sit here, in my ivory tower, and not my basement, and look at how to grow and how to scale. I think that's definitely the future for us at Ram Clean, and where we want to go. So,
Well, I have a question for you. I mean, how long have you guys been in business again, brother? For those that
I
don't know.
started my parents' basement in 2013. I didn't do anything with the business really because I had a bunch of other things, and I just did cleaning really to get out of my parents' basement. And I had a painting company. I was buying properties out of foreclosure or sheriff's sale, and rehabbing them and doing that. So I had a lot of things going for a 25-year-old. And then I was in a situation where I had to make a decision to stay in Champaign or to leave Champaign in 2017-18. So, and the cleaning was all I had. So in 2017-18, I just went all in with Ram Clean, and 5 years later, here we are. So,
Well, listen, there's something about how you guys do business that's very impressive. Anybody that gets to know y'all knows that you guys move and you move with speed, right? And I think sometimes in order to move with speed, not that you have to have all your processes like figured out, but you have to be pretty good at what you're doing because you're talking about opening up different locations, saying yes to an opportunity in a territory that you're not a part of. What are some of like your key, maybe like principles or key lessons that you've gotten as you've been able to like skyrocket this? Because you haven't just had like a big bump and then slow down and then big. You guys have been consistently wanting to surpass the goals and have accomplished it. So what are some like key rules, key principles, key teachings for people listening?
well, I think the big thing right now is like your partnerships, right? Like, so we're going to lean right into the same folks that we use here. Like Spartan's they're lining us up for the chemicals and supply side in Tampa, and going with organizations like that. And then of course, right, it's my team and it's the people. So besides the partner alliance you have that you can just go wherever and they're going to be able to back up and fulfill what you've delivered on the sales side and what you've promised, is just and then my people that are willing to say, hey, I'm ready, I'm willing to go anywhere, whenever, right? So director of operations here and my sales rep from here met with our folks down in Florida, and I flew from your event to Tampa, to close that deal, and it was phenomenal, right? It was a great opportunity for them. It's a good opportunity for us. It gets them excited, and it's just it's just an all around win for the organization, right? So how can we rinse and repeat that, and continue as we go? And we're finding out, they have another location in Tampa, the one that recommended us LAX today. So, so getting partners like that, but that's from an operational side, right? We've delivered for them for 2-3 years now, and they've actually changed over multiple other cleaning companies, and then they're wanting us to just service all their facilities. So, that's attributed to our operations team again, right? The team that's been able to give that opportunity for us. So, again, I keep going back to that part. But yeah, it's definitely the team, and the people, and then the partnerships that we've developed. So making sure that, when we go to market and different things, you're not starting from scratch. You're just making the phone call, making the connections. We jump on a Google Meet. Hey, this is what we need. This is all the specs. And then you go from there.
So James, I'll hand it over to you from here, but I have a question because I think like we're just I know we're keeping it high level, which I'm cool with, but I'm sorry, but not just anybody has a company that you tell the person, hey, I need you to move to Tampa, and he says, sounds good, brother. I'll see you there in 90 days. That's not like a common thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people struggle to find the right team. You're talking about you have the right team and they're willing to like go to war with you.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you do different that other people maybe are not doing, or how do you like sell them on the Ram Clean vision? Like, what is it that you're doing, man? Because obviously there's some secret sauce there somewhere.
Well, I think it's just, one, it's from, I have an abundant mindset, right? I don't think, I truly think that I don't limit myself. And I'm sure a lot of janitorial companies never leave their area or their market, and that's their thing. But my thing is like, how can we get to, 25, 50, $100 million company? And you just can't do that in one market, especially when you're only trying to attract larger customers. And my team knows that, right? And I think the more revenue you go get, the more everybody wins, right? So if you continue to climb, the more they're going to make, the more they're going to get back. And they know I'm not a greedy person, a greedy boss for that matter. And I give back to them, and I give back to them handsomely, right? So I think, I think one of the guys at the conference talked about Dan, right? Always be selling, always be giving back to your team. And I think that's one of the things that really resonates with me, because treating people, open door policy, people coming all the time, treating people just like I'm nobody special. I mean, I have, you know what I mean? And that's how I look at it, right? So it's really those folks that are boots on the ground and doing it for me. For the least I can do is give back and treat them like a hell of a person, right? So I don't really think, but yeah, I think, from the other part of it too, like you say, is just having that mindset where you just get to figure it out, right? I mean, that's the whole thing of entrepreneurship: jumping off a cliff with no parachute and just landing on 2 feet. So, hey, you want to go to LAX? And always leaning into curiosity. So, hey, you can go to LAX. Sure. Okay. You know what I mean? And knowing that you have a team that'll set up all the business and make everything right, the payroll and the work. Yeah. But it's easy for me to say yes. It's not, I don't have to do all the work, but I know we'll figure it out and make it happen. So.
Let's talk about generating that revenue for expansion, man. Because I liked what Angel said. When I think of Ram Clean, I think of speed. I think that you guys always play offense. I think a lot of janitorial companies will play a little bit of offense, and then they lock up and try to play defense. Starting in Ohio, your home state, your home market, what do you guys do that fuels that drive for expansion in terms of sales, marketing? Like, I love the holistic approach you guys take. You guys have digital going, you have boots on the ground going, you have outbound going. Maybe talk to people listening how you guys play offense from like a sales and marketing perspective, because I think that's really impressive. And I think janitorial companies focus on one area, not a holistic area like you guys do.
Yeah. Again, right, Rob, and you guys all know Rob. Very fortunate to have him on the team, and so yeah, between doing the things through LinkedIn Navigator, where he's taking the folks and direct messaging them, and doing the cold email sequence, and doing what we do on display ads and Google AdWords, and yeah, I mean that's really how the business has grown. Like I said, we had the conversation earlier, the struggles in finding, sales folks and how that works and how to motivate, control. I mean, and talking to the folks at your event. I mean, it's very, very difficult to find gold bars and sales reps. So really, we've taken a different avenue where we found through Inbound, right, where that's a soft serve layup, where the close rate significantly higher is way more successful for us. So, and we've been very fortunate to get some good large partnerships through that have led to this expansion in other areas. So, it's kudos to Rob and the team for being able to allow us to do that.
For those of you that are listening to, sorry to cut you off there, Angel, but like I think one thing to give perspective to is you guys have a system to where like your inbound complements your outbound and your outbound complements like what you guys are doing internally to track all the leads coming into one place. And you guys are really good at delegating that. I'm just curious, like as you guys expand into new markets here, Charlie, I'm assuming you guys take that exact same kind of like machine approach into Tampa, like you guys do in Cincy, into LA. And then do you guys manage that like all from Ohio as you guys expand, or do you guys plan on like setting up like your own shop in these individual markets?
So what we've done is set up shops in individual markets. So we have an office in Illinois and have an office here, and next would be Columbus, actually a physical office, and then have one in Tampa. But and that's just because I like the real estate aspect of the business too. I'm also doing like the rate croc where I'm paying, the business is paying me over here, and having real estate offset the the income, blah blah blah. But setting up a nice thing for myself over here as well. But
so you end up buying the building, or at least land, or wherever you guys are at. That's smart. That's how you should.
Yeah.
Why watch the movie The Founder if you're not gonna do it, right? Like that's just interesting.
And I come from that background, right, in real estate. In my family, my father's owned real estate for 40 years, and so it just makes sense to me, right? When I don't want to pay somebody else, and I can just pay myself. And so we've been fortunate enough. We developed something in Champaign, and then I got lucky here, this building in Cincinnati. So and just been patient. So, but anyways, yeah, as we expand to different markets, that thing's already rolling, right? So the cold email's already going out in Tampa. Like we just got a lead for a Chick-fil-A and something else. So that thing's already brewing, right? It's already, Rob's already, the mad scientist is already going at it, and we'll see what we come up with, right? So it's nice to have two get in there with one confirmed, another lead rolling. So then if you start the market with $500,000-$600,000 in revenue, then you're already well out of the red, and then you're just and the other thing too is brand penetration, right? I mean, all I know is in these markets, especially, it just takes longer than you think to get the wrap vehicles in there, to get the display ads, to get the social, to get all these other things cooking. So if you can get those early at bats and connect on those, getting that revenue is huge, because then you can just stay there forever, right? I mean, we got very fortunate with that in Columbus as well. So yeah, that's huge for us, and hopefully that's the same scenario we have. And that's what's great about having these strategic partners that want you to go there. Then you're not starting from just freaking absolutely ground zero, because that's tough. Sitting there just eating the red for months on end, not the recipe for success. So getting that revenue, and especially a partnership that pays quickly, not net 90, net 120, it helps for sure.
All right, hang with me for the next minute and a half. We got a quick break here in the Profitable Cleaner, because we're officially official. It's like I like to say it. Why? Because I get to take this break and introduce our sponsors. First sponsors is USource. So go to usource.com. That's USOURCE.com. This is a business management platform for facility services companies. No more chaos, unnecessary admin work, or just having to consolidate information. This is about you not being the source of information anymore and having a platform that can give you accessibility, visibility, and control over your operation. So see more, do more, whether you're 1 employee or 3,000 employees. This is the platform for you. So check out our sponsor, usource.com. Our second sponsor, dayporter.com. They will help you with all your outbound, LinkedIn, email, call, and they're going to do it with a team from Latin America. So make sure that you reach out to them, dayporter.com. They can help you hire your next superstar and give you the strategies to go book the walkthroughs that you're looking for. The third one is going to be Melgar Consulting. That's alexmelgar.com. If you're hovering around the $5 million range and you're in the facility services industry, want to hit those 20, want to keep bumping your head and really want to scale, he is going to be able to consult and help you have the right foundation, the right structure, and the right strategies, and the right advisory and consulting to get you past those 5 to 20 million. So go to alexmelgar.com. And last but not least, our fourth sponsor, cleaningprofits.com. That is our annual event for facility services CEO, executive teams, leadership teams. Bring them out. This is all about transformation. It's all about training. It's all about community. And it's held once a year, this year, September 12th to the 14th. So thank you once again to all of our sponsors. And let's continue on to the show. No, I have, when you go into these new markets too, man, do you do a lot of are your employees W-2s or do you guys do both
Yeah,
models?
everybody in my
W-2 and sub.
W2.
Oh, all W-2?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
A lot of people would say that to expand you like subs are key, but you're doing it differently. Why that model?
I can control quality. They're my people. And that's the conversation I had with Dan earlier. I mean, really, the ultimate goal for us is really to be the Panda Express of cleaning, not the franchisees. I want to control it all in house, and I think that's what's led to the opportunities to go get this right. We're not sending in another franchisee or another sub or any of that. That's our people, right? So it's who we've hired, who we've vetted, who we've cleaned, who we've trained, our processes and how we do things, versus just trusting a subcontractor to go in and do it our way. That's just not my thing.
The Panda Express. That was interesting. That's a good example.
Exactly. So you talk and you make it sound like all so easy, and maybe it's because you're in the process of doing it. But where my head goes is the logistics of it. Like you talked about getting vehicles and getting them wrapped down there. Obviously, you need to have the cleaning crews down there. You got to get the leads down there. You got to get an office. Talk to us about the rollout of logistics, the timeline of expansion, and some of the biggest challenges that you do face when you're looking at a new market. Because it's not just as easy as oh, we're growing, Tampa, here we come. I know that there has to be a lot of logistics that maybe people aren't in tune to who haven't expanded to a new market yet.
Sure. Yeah. So again, the big thing for us is the locations we're getting are huge. This one is in particular. So all the stuff, right? The equipment, the chemicals, the storage, all that stuff will be on site. So that helps, right? I mean, that's huge. I would just be able to rely on a lot of that for that one facility. But yeah, again, I mean, it's just the people. I mean, my team here has jumped all in. My operations guy, Jason, he's already lined up all the folks for Spartan and Imperial Dad for the supplier, because we're going to do we went with including all the consumables for this customer here, because they were tired of messing with it. So we told them we'd just take them as a one-stop shop for them. So they lined up all that stuff for them. Vehicle rollout and all that stuff. It just father-in-law drives down and then he flies back, and office is just when I'm looking in the market. Luckily, I've been in this market for 23 years because it was been my family's second home forever, and I actually just bought a place down there in April. That's kind of why it went. We just got lucky with our with our customer here that has one there, really. But we have some other stuff going, and it's the sixth fastest growing county in United States. So it's just booming. There's a ton of opportunity. Getting the rollout for is just lots of hiring, and just for me, it's just. I mean, I know it sounds like it's not no big deal, but it really isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it's just a couple of folks, right? I mean, we're hiring a site lead, and then I don't know, 6 or 7 employees. I mean, to me, it's no big deal. It's just everyday business. So, I mean, maybe I just stack a lot on my team and I have high expectations. But I'm like, how fast can we go, and what's next? So,
Well, I think that's also why you won the award, right? Like, I think you're right. I think there's high standards, there's high expectations, but I think, so James was like, you make it sound easy. I think it definitely not easy. I'm sure your team goes through a lot, but it's like simple. It's not too complex, right? Like, you just have to have the right team.
Yeah, we're cleaning. We're not building rockets to go to the moon. I mean, really, it's just down to good people that want to buy into the systems that we're doing and want to do a good job for our customer, right? I mean, at the forefront is it's just blowing away our customer and making them want to just write testimonials and give us reviews and do all these things for us and refer us like, hey, we're tired of changing cleaning companies. How about you go to Phoenix? How about you go to LAX? How do you go? We want you in Boston. Sure, I can't wait, right? So, I mean, and just leaning into that mindset, right, to just take that on, I think is a big deal.
So I have a question. I have 2 more questions. One of them, I'm just curious. So you've been scaling, man. You've been growing. You obviously have a big team. You're moving fast. Why? Why are you so hungry to go for the 25, 50, 100? A lot of people would hit and be like, all right, cool. I'm at 10. I'm good. I'm at 7. I got a good life. Why? There's like this like fire every time we meet you. You're like, I'm
this
moving and I'm
desire.
moving fast, bro. Right? Why is that?
Well, one, I think just because you get to touch more lives, right? I'm already in the business of scaling humans. That's why I keep them all in the house and W-2s. But it's a score, right? I'm playing a game, so it's competitive. I'm a very competitive person, so why not try to go out there and do the best you can? I'm not one to just sit and like, oh, I want to hold this. No, I want to go see how many points I can score. Right? I'd rather be on offense than defense.
Scaling humans. Damn, I like that. That's true. That's facts. And that is a
how
scoreboard.
many lives can I impact? I can impact a lot more at 100 million than I can at 10.
100%. And then, like Yagal said in the training, right? He was like, and every household on average has 4 people. Multiply times 4. Boom.
Correct.
What's the goal for you, man?
What'd you say?
What's the goal for you?
As far as employees?
Or revenue. Like, is there an actual, like, this is the goal? Or you're just like, I'm just going to go until we'll figure it out when?
Correct. I mean, because it can change tomorrow. And, it's where you think you could be, then all of a sudden you're like, well, that's really easily attainable or whatever, right? So I don't cap my mindset. I don't say like, oh, at 100 million, I'm just going to stop, or no. I mean, at that point, I'll be like, well, what's 250 look like? So, or whatever. But I just don't. I don't do that. And I don't do that either with employees. I don't know what it's going to take. You could say 3,000 or 10,000 or whatever, but I just keep doing my thing.
I think it goes back to that abundant mindset that you said that you've kind of always possessed. Like I can hear the abundance when you talk about like not having a cap on the goal, which I think is cool. I have 2 last things for you here, Charlie. One, when you guys talk about expansion, have you guys ever considered like growth through acquisition, or has it always been like, nope, Ram Clean's going to plant our flag and build from the ground up? Or have you guys thought about acquisition?
I have thought about acquisition. I've looked at a lot of different things, but when I go to sit there and say, okay, I'm going to spend 600 to $1 million to go buy this much revenue, I know we can go build that in that market for a lot cheaper than we have. So, I mean, I guess unless it's a really good deal, and seller financing and the structure itself is in our favor. It's just nothing that I've ever came across has worked as far as me outlaying that much cash versus if I bet against my team and my what we can do, mano a mano. I would just pick us.
No, I think that makes a ton of sense. And I think that confidence comes through when you guys like show up like, hey, we're going to bet on Ram versus acquiring a new company and seeing how that goes. My
Yeah.
my last question is more to kind of get your thoughts on. So I was talking to Rob at the event and he was talking about sales styles and different personalities and he was talking about how he's way different than you. And he was like, Charlie, though, man, a big proposal goes out the door. That guy will follow up. He'll get an answer, regardless of what that answer is. Where, like Rob was kind of alluding to, like, I might be a little bit more passive and like laid back. Talk to me about that, man. When you hear kind of like your sidekick say that, you get the answer, you sound aggressive, you get the yes or no. Talk to me just about like, how does Charlie close deals?
Well, I mean, again, it goes back to if they've, requested our time to come out to their facility, the least they can do is give me an answer one way or the other. And I just have a very, very high sense of urgency, right? So I just don't stop asking. And I'm the last line of defense, right? So I can, within reason, right, I can make any deal go. And that's just how I am, right? So David that sits here as the sales rep, he knows. He's been with me for 2 years now, and you know we do different things on our proposals. I think a lot of other people don't to not hit a wall like that, to keep the door open when we're going out with them. And even when I post, when we go through the on-site visit themselves, I like to sit down with them to understand their timeline and let them know, hey, I'm going to be relentless in my follow-up, so just get ready. And they're like, oh, what's that mean? Like, no, like you might say like, oh, 1 week, 2, and like I'm going to be hitting you up, so just get ready. So because it's coming fast, and I'm going to be asking, hey, what's next? Where are we at? Where are we going? You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, okay, and then they're like, wow, he's dead serious. So. Because it matters, right? I mean, you can't say, like, oh, I didn't think they cared because they didn't ask me how the proposal was or anything else. No, I'm like, oh, what else? So, yeah, I mean,
I love that. No, but I think dude, that's how you walk. You walk with urgency. You show up with urgency in anything that you do. And I think the people that scale past a certain amount, certain time, like when they're moving, and you better not be in their way. And you either get in the program or you just stay on the side. Like, it's just like you move very, very fast in a great way. Like in a non like, oh, we're ramp clean and cocky type of way, but in a like, hey, we've got big goals. We got big vision. So I got
yeah,
things to do.
yeah. I mean, what Coach said, right? Money falls. What did he say? Money fall energy. I mean, I think that holds true, right? I mean, you're urgent and you have high expectations, and I mean, those things all line up together. I mean, so yeah.
And I will say, you probably
I know.
have fun. You have fun doing it, because I know you sound intense as hell on this podcast. But every time we hang out, you're like one of the funnest person and like funniest. Like, we're never talking like too serious. And then when it's game time, it's like and game time. Like there's a really cool balance and
Yeah,
enjoyment to
you
it.
got to flip the switch, man, for sure. I mean, I play 99% of the time, but when the lights come on, yeah, I'm one to flip the switch for sure, right? Like, when I walk in to go sell something, I'm very, very, I'm the most confident, right? One, it's my team, and it's my company, so I don't think anybody's gonna beat me 1-on-1.
I
I
love
love
it.
that, man. I love that. Hey, man. So I know I said I only had 2 last questions, but you said something that I can't let go here. You said,
Sure.
hey, when it comes to us and the proposals, we do things a little bit different. And then you kept going. What do you guys do different, man? For those
Can't
listening
share
that,
the. You're trying to give him the secret sauce, bro. He literally said we do things that no one else does, and you're like, yeah, can you tell me
yeah,
please so we can copy?
yeah,
That's terrible. Why would you?
uh,
What?
No, no. The biggest thing I think we do that differently is I give them a car wash package. I give them a pricing list, right? So, I go from I can give you a very cheap price. I always say with our guys, right? You can only math the math so much. So you're selling labor hours. So, franchisees, if they want to go buy market share and they're just going to be really cheap, great. So then we'll just give them a really cheap price, and then give them explanations of why I would choose this price. I mean, literally in the first price, I literally I have them put in the captions, expect complaints.
hmm, hmm.
And
So good.
and the hilarious thing is that so many of the businesses never pick the bottom tier. They always pick. I mean, just like the place in we were able to sell $8,000 more a month in Tampa than what, and they told us what they were spending, and they still picked the top package. So
I love it. I love it, man. No,
I got tired of the conversation getting stopped because of price. So then I just said, okay, well then we'll just give you a freaking shitty, medium, and our way. And you can pick whatever you want, right? Because when they stop talking, it's because of price.
yeah,
Simple.
that makes a ton of sense. And you get in front of like the not even objection. You just get in front of the truth, like with the bottom tier, like expect complaints, and people are like, well, shit.
Like open anything. Anytime you guys get a price on something, if it's really expensive, you're like, your brain just doesn't want to respond.
Yeah.
Let's just not do that. Let's just give them multiple options. We can talk and we can work through it.
100%. Options begin the conversation.
I want to play ping pong. You know what I mean? So I know I can get to the finish line. So just
100%.
keep going.
Boom. Well, hey, listen, Mr. Ramshaw. I've never called you that, but that sounds cool as fuck. Mr. Ramshaw. Yeah, no.
Don't call me that anymore.
Never mind. All right, Charlie. Just kidding. Nah, man. Thank you so much for being here again. For those that don't know, it's the Skyrocket Award winner here. And next year event, when there's like 300 people there, and you're gonna like be on stage and stuff. Be ready. You don't even know yet, but you're gonna be there. So there you go.
I'll be on stage. So
hey, listen, you're either gonna hold the belt. You're either gonna hold the belt again, or you're gonna give it away. So we gotta find a way to have you hold that belt.
I'm gonna go over here and start screaming at my team. We gotta get going.
Nah, bro. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you. Hey, if you need anything, you can always count on us. Once again, thanks so much, James. Always a pleasure, brother.
Looking forward
to it.
Thank you, guys.